Like, you're either 100% in or you're not. There's no like half-assing this shit.
We had this man on 3 years ago, but so much of his life has changed. Please welcome Neema Naz, everyone.
From the last time you saw me, like mentally and internally, I'm much healthier. Showcasing the other parts of my funny that I've never really been able to express.
Drake,
Yeah.
talk to me about it.
But then this was like a solidifying moment. My dad especially was like, holy shit, like
Yeah.
Drake knows who you are? I'm like, yeah. the amount of times I put in work to go out every night to do stand-up shows after 9 years in 10 months, I did like 650 sets.
God damn.
And you just have to expect that things will also go wrong. Every day something goes wrong. By the end, I was one of the only times in my career, I was like, guys, I'm not gonna lie, like I never have felt like I wanted to quit comedy. This is one of those nights.
Ready, Neema?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Two Fries Podcast, aka the #1 podcast in Winnipeg, where we document the rise and stardom of Winnipeg's talent and personalities. We had this man on 3 years ago, but so much of his life has changed, and we're here to have some laughs, talk about his journey. Please welcome Neema Naz, everyone. Hey.
Hey, Sat Shri Akal.
Sat Shri Akal. Way to go, brother.
Like that?
Yeah, I did. I think everybody got that.
That's right, baby. All the Punjabis got that.
Everyone Punjabi's got it. I gotta ask you a question right off the back.
Yeah.
Drake,
Yeah.
talk to me about it, bro.
He's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT,
Yeah.
but your interaction with Drake during the Aiden Ross live stream.
Live stream, yeah. It was crazy.
Talk to me about it, bro.
Yeah, it was surreal, man. Yeah, that was it was a huge help. It was a huge help. The fact that he came through with the money too and everything like that. But more than anything, it just shows how fucking dope he is for doing something like that for people, especially for his own people, like for his own city and everything like that. And yeah, it was definitely one of the biggest milestones of my career. And when I did win, and when it did happen, in my head I was like, because usually as an artist, you have people, they have imposter syndrome, right? I've had that, I guess, many times in my career, but this was one of the first times, 100% through, that I was like, oh wow, like I deserve this shit. Yeah. And so, yeah, it was one of those solid moments, one of the highlights of my career.
Can you walk me through like the whole process? So like, how did you send in that letter? What was kind of the whole process there? Yeah,
so actually a bunch of people were sending that poster to me saying, yo, like he's doing a Toronto artist giveaway, you're a Toronto artist. I was like, oh yeah, true. Yeah. And usually when you see stuff like that, you're like, like, I'm not gonna win.
Yeah,
like everyone thinks that. But this time around, we're like, my brother and I were like, you know what? I don't know, our gut is telling something different. Let's just try it, see what happens. So we wrote up an email. We're like, why we think we deserve it and all those things. And we just sent it off to the email, and then we tuned into the live stream. Yeah. And we didn't know when they were going to announce it, so we were just sitting on a live stream for like 5 hours, I think. we got on at like 8:30, 9, and then it went until like 2 in the morning. So we're watching the whole night just in case, because I don't want to go to sleep. And then,
and then your phone blows up.
Yeah, exactly. So we're staying on, and it's like 1:20 a.m. or something like that at this point. And then finally, he's like, all right, guys, time to do the Toronto Artist giveaway. Let's see who we got. And then someone off camera gives him the paper. Yeah. He starts reading the first line. And as he's reading, I'm like, oh, shit, I think that's what we wrote off the first line. And then he starts reading more. I'm like, oh, that's fucking us. And then the part that blew my mind too was like midway through, he's like, "Oh, Neema."
He knows.
And I was like, "Holy shit, he knows who I am," which was super dope. And the thing is, he already followed me a year before that, so he knew who I was. I didn't know he knew me like that though. Yeah. Where he's like, "Oh, like fucking Neema, like I love your shit. Like this guy brings laughs, all this stuff. You're saying nice things." And I was like, "This is crazy." And then,
so did your brother start filming right away? Like, how did you get that video? I was like, were you filming the entire 8 hours?
No. So that'd be nuts. Yeah. When he on the stream, he was like, all right, let's do the Toronto Artist giveaway. I told my brother, I was like, yo, start filming just in case I win. Yeah. Because like that'll be sick to document.
Yeah, of course.
And so yeah, that's how the video came about too.
The funny thing of the video was like your mom comes in and she goes, Mr. Drake.
Yeah. And what's funny is like she walks in and like when Drake is still reading the thing, he's talking about it, not the FaceTime it. Yeah. And then me and my brother are already excited because we knew we won. So then my mom comes down and now she's like, because of our excitement, she's excited. And she thought we were on FaceTime with them. And she's like, thank you very much. thank you so much. Oh my God, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. I'm like,
talking to the
he's not
screen.
even like,
Yeah.
he's not even on live yet. But anyway, and then on FaceTime, she was like, Mr. Drake. That was like so funny, bro. Such an immigrant move. I love it.
Yeah, of course.
Such a typical like an immigrant parent thing to say.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk about the moment that it meant like seeing your mom react that way? Because like I recall the last time we talked, like you took a big leap to go into comedy like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And they weren't the most supportive at the beginning. Like, immigrant parent, my family,
Yeah.
I'm in a very similar situation as well, of like taking a leap into this business world.
Yeah.
And like family's not right on board right now, but I'm like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like?
Well, I mean, it's like I said before, it was surreal for me, but also for my parents, because they're like, holy shit, this is actually possible.
Yeah.
And not that they doubted it this whole time, because they've been a believer for the past few years of what I do. But this was one of those moments where like, my dad especially was like, holy shit, like, he's actually giving you that much money? Like, this is actually possible? Yeah. Drake knows who you are? I'm like, yeah. And so, I think it's, at first, they just want to see that things are going your way and you're making some money. But then this was like a solidifying moment for my parents. They're like, oh man, like my kid fucking, like, he's doing something. Like, you know, maybe not, I haven't made it yet fully, but like, he's on the way. And so,
do you remember the first time that small inclination happened with your parents? Of like them recognizing, oh, like, you know, he's not going to school, he's not doing this, but he's like doing comedy. Yeah. First couple of years, obviously, not the best. Not the best.
No, it's terrible. Actually, the first few years is garbage. Yeah.
And then how does it turn around? At what moment? Like, do you remember the exact moment? Because I'm still waiting for that moment in my life. So I want to know how important that moment is.
How long have you been doing it for?
It's been a year. I took a leap last month.
Oh,
I just finished school. I finished school.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I could easily get a job as a teacher.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm doing this full time.
Yeah. Oh, you're so new. It's gonna take a while, but like,
facts.
For me, I don't know. It took like a few years, like probably like 3-4 years.
Yeah. And what was the moment that solidified for them?
Well, it was not even one moment. It was just over the years, the amount of times I put in work to go out every night to do stand-up shows, to do open mics, you know, just grinding. Yeah. Every night. Every time I call my dad, he's like, so what'd you do today, or what'd you do this week? I was like, I did 20 open mics this week. Yeah. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, every night after school, I had classes. I would just go home, change, and start taking a streetcar to go downtown an hour to go do like 4 open mics, bomb at all of them. And then by the time the last one's finished, it's like 12 in the morning, it's midnight. And I have to take a streetcar an hour back to where my residence was with crackheads along the way, just to like fucking eat shit on stage. But like, that's the learning process, right? And then go back to school the next morning. And I would never be late to class. I would never miss his class. For 2 years straight, I was like at it, right?
What were you doing in school?
Well, it was for comedy.
Okay.
So that's what I dropped out of school originally doing kinesiology. I dropped out of school fully to do comedy, but also found a comedy program, which was 2 years at Humber. Yeah. And so that was those are the moments where I could start to believe more and more. And then when they finally saw me live, or you know, a couple shows where I was doing well, then they were like, oh shit, like this is real, like he's actually doing it. He said he's doing what he said he would do. And I think it was just that trust that they wanted to feel. Yeah. So
what did they teach you in comedy school?
Oh man, everything. Like I learned all the basics and the foundation of comedy. Like, you know, they teach you how to write for stand-up jokes, or write for TV, write for sketch comedy, acting, improv, physical comedy, how to use your body and facial expressions, all those things, improv. So yeah, they taught all the courses that you need as a foundation to do comedy.
And then do you have like was there a lot of people in your class that were kind of taking the class, and were they all trying to aspire to be like comedians? Where's that class now? Like nowhere to be found. Okay. I'm one of the only people who's actually doing it for my year. Damn. There's I think 2 other people who are still doing stand-up. Yeah. But like, I don't know, like I haven't actually kept in touch with anyone really that's from my year, because a lot of people dropped off right away after the 2 years. Yeah. A bunch of people dropped off like after a couple of years. Some people are just like doing it as a hobby, or like they're still working full time. They're not fully invested. Yeah. Like I am. And but like that's just it's kind of like a given when you go to a program like fucking clown college, pretty much. You know, some people aren't going to take it seriously, but I've fully took it seriously from the start. Yeah. Every single day, like I said, I was never late.
went to every class. I didn't miss a class. I stayed till the end. I talked to the teachers. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to learn because I have a passion for it, right? And that's what happens when you have a passion for it. You'll find ways to do it more and to get better.
Facts. How many classes did you miss in kinesiology?
Tons. Bro, I hated. You know the thing is, there's a meme about like, oh, like I'm not a morning person, but like a 6 a.m. flight, I'm fucking amped. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the same thing. It's like in kinesiology, like lecture halls, I hated waking up to go to a class at even 11. You know, I was like, man, I don't want to go. I'm miserable. But like, I had classes at 8 in the morning for comedy. I was there at 7:30.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just about what you like and how much of a passion and how much you love something. You'll make it work.
Yeah. It comes down to that saying like you're an overnight success 10 years in the making.
Yeah.
And you're pretty much like 10 years, right? Like
almost. Yeah.
Almost.
It's
10.
Coming up in September.
Yeah.
It'll be 10 years.
Do you take a moment to like reflect on those big moments or like even just the journey at all? Or is it like, because you're on tour right now and like you're going city to city, like how much time do you take to reflect on those kind of things in your journey so far?
Yeah, I mean, all the time, honestly. What helps is that I have my brother with me who also manages me, and we talk all the time about these things. We're always like, oh man, like the dream. Like we're always dreaming about what's going to happen or where we're going to go, what we want to do in the future, like what we're going to do with the money that we make, everything. We talk about everything, and we're like obsessed with it. But that's the point is, it's like you're either 100% in or you're not. There's no like half-assing this shit. So we're always on top of it. It's top of mind.
Damn. Does life feel real sometimes?
I don't know what the fuck life is, bro. I don't know anything. We don't know shit.
We're just yapping.
All right? We're yapping. All right? I don't know what the fuck this water bottle is. Like, I don't know. Like, you know, we're in a matrix for sure. You know, I don't know. It's just, I just do what I know and what I like, and then that's it. I don't worry about other crazy shit that's happening.
Do you have a story from where you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm here right now. I can't believe I'm doing this right here, right now, from this moment?
Yeah, I mean, many times recently with the people I've opened for in comedy or...
Walk me through a story that comes to mind.
Well, I think the last time I saw you, it was, I had opened for Russel Peters.
Yep.
That was like a few months before.
Yeah.
So that was obviously one of the first times where I was like, oh shit, like my comedic idol put me on.
You grew up watching him.
And I grew up watching him.
Yeah.
He's one of the reasons he molded my sense of humor. And a lot of kids in Canada, I think. And so that was a crazy moment. But then after that, what happened with like, I with Gary Vee, fucking Theo Vaughn, I opened for him, Howie Mandel, like worked with so many cool. I did a thing for the NBA. Yeah. And when I was working with this rookie, Benedict Mathurin, and like they flew us to Montreal to film the whole thing. I was like, this is crazy. Like I'm getting flown to these places, or I'm getting paid to do this, or you know, I get to meet this person all because I just chose to post myself online in the way I think is funny, and that's it.
Yeah. What are these conversations like when you're having like with like Theo, Howie, those guys? Like, what are you saying? And what do they say to you? Do they give you like inspiration? Are you guys just shooting the shit? And like,
it depends, man. Like, it's all different. It's all different. They've all been different. With Russell, it's crazy because like he's just like exactly who you think he is. He's just as funny off stage. He'll fuck around. He'll talk shit. He'll roast you. You know, but like you can laugh with him and you can talk to him. It's normal. It's cool.
Yeah.
Theo, it was actually a very funny experience when I first met him. It was in Windsor at the Caesar's Palace. We were in the backstage area, and I hadn't met him yet. I'm walking down the hall. I see him coming out of his room, and then I look at him. I was like, "Yo, what's up, Theo? Thanks for having me." And then he goes, "Hey, what up, Neema? You ready for a night, man?" And then he just like didn't even look at me. He just did this, and then he walked away. And that's it. He called me Newman too. I was like, "Bro, it's Neema Naz."
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. But anyway, like. It's just like, you know, how he is, like, I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
And he's actually, he's much more shy. Well, not shy, but I think he's just like much more to himself, which is, it's fine. Like, it's just different.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get to connect with him as much.
Sure.
But
I've heard stories of like veteran comedians like shitting on like newer comedians to like get them like tougher skin or things like that. Is that true?
Well, yeah, not necessarily shitting on them, and they will roast them and like, you know, take jabs.
Yeah.
Which is the right terminology to use, because shitting on, like, the people who do shit on other people are the people who aren't doing as good as you are.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Or are doing better. The people who are doing better than you will never shit on you.
Yeah, of course.
They'll always give you that respect because they've been in that position, and they're not threatened. That's how you know that person's successful. And and that's actually the motto I like to live by too. Is like, I don't care what anyone else is doing. I'll talk about them and, like, you know, amongst my friends and just for fun. But it's like, there's no reason to put your energy into, like, fucking being bitter about other people's success or whatnot, right? So,
have you ever got a jab from, like, someone you, like, respect and you're like, oh, like, thanks for putting me in check there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, when I opened for Russel, actually, before I went on stage, I was nervous, obviously, but then I was like, yo, do you have any advice, bro? Like, I want to make sure I do a good job. He's like, yeah, don't fucking bomb. I was like, oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And I was like...
Did that make you more nervous? Or were you
no, actually, it actually helped, because I was like, oh, okay, like, because he's so light about it, it made me feel good. I was like, oh, okay, like, this is just another show. It's obviously the best show I've ever been on in my career, and the biggest audience, but nonetheless, it's still just another set. And so that's what made it easier for me to mentally zone in. But like you said before, it's like, that's a jab, like, that they'll take. But that's a sign of respect. Do you take jabs at anyone that's coming up that you guys have opened up for you? Or, like, working? All the time. I mean, like, when you're with comics on the road, especially, even, like, friends that are, like, on the same level or whatnot, it's like, we always roast each other. We make jokes at the other person's expense. That's just a part of the game.
It's part of the game.
Like, it's a sign of camaraderie as well within your friends and within those guys, that, you know, you can trust them. If a guy can take a joke when you take jabs at them, you know you can trust that person. But there's been people where, like, you say something to them, or, like, you kind of, like, you roast them a little bit, and then they take it the wrong way. You're like, I can't fucking trust you.
Well, that's not with the
it's like, we're just joking around. But anyway,
is that the price you have to pay for comedy? Like, people taking jokes the wrong way?
Oh yeah,
and
all
like,
the time.
Like, especially, like, in the world of social media, like, one thing just getting on the wrong side of the algorithm, or, like, a certain group of people just being like, yo, fuck this guy because, like, he said this, this, and this.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
And, like, how do you have a tough skin, or, like, do you build that over time? Like, how do you deal with it?
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to just go through it. It's a time thing. It's just over the years you experience it more and more, and then each time something does happen that could go wrong, you just get stronger mentally and know how to deal with it differently. But it's always going to happen. It's never going to change. Even at the highest level, people have to deal with that bullshit all the time. But it's about how you deal with it and the people around you that to help you with it too. That matters.
Do you almost get, like, numb to it? Like, in the sense of, like, when you first started off, was there, like, a moment you're like, oh, my career's, like, definitely over, but then you look around, like, 10 years later and you're like, oh, that was nothing. I was stressing over that. Like,
yeah, I mean, there hasn't been anything extreme like that for me, but there's been thoughts in my head about, like, oh man, like, what if this goes wrong, or, like, what if, I don't know, I lose all my following, or like, people don't give a fuck about me anymore. It's like those thoughts come to mind. It's that imposter syndrome sometimes. It's like, it creeps up. It's like, am I even funny, or is this even for me? Like, you know, but then the next day something good happens, you're like, oh, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm on the right path. Just keep going. But just because you have a thought doesn't mean it's true. And I always try to remind myself of that too. And that's what helps.
You mentioned, like, in our last podcast that we did, that, like, there's highs and there's lows, and you kind of just got to stick in the middle. Does that get easier to do? Because I'm probably experiencing that kind of life right now. Certain days, so high. Other days, I'm like, oh, this is over. Like, how do you stay in the middle? Like, I'm personally asking for personal advice. Like, how do you try to stay as grounded as possible and centered?
Yeah, I mean, you just can't get too excited when big things happen. You also can't get too low when something bad happens, because it's just exhausting. It's draining mentally, and your energy is being sucked every time you worry about something, or, like, you get too amped up, because naturally what goes up is going to come back down, right? So my thing is, like, you know, sometimes I get cool opportunities, or, like, a paid gig somewhere, or, like, a brand deal, and it's, like, you know, worth a decent amount of money, and then usually someone else would be like, oh man, that's crazy. I fucking can't, oh man, I'm gonna make all this money, that's crazy. But for us, we're like, I'm like, yeah, oh, okay, good, sick, nice. That's great.
Yeah.
It's a good amount of money. Yeah, we could use this. It's gonna help for hire someone to, take pictures at our shows or video my sets or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you start to think about the things that this money could help you with or this opportunity can help you with. And then that's it. Like, you don't get too hyped up over it because you just have to expect that things will also go wrong. In entrepreneurship, especially, every day something goes wrong. For us, every day something happens that's not perfect, right? So, but we expect it. And when you have the expectations, you know how to like deal with it.
Can I ask, so you've experienced a number of highs now, and you've worked with, I'm sure, a few people that you could have, once dreamed to work with. Are there any other comedians that you haven't worked with yet that you still aspire to work with?
Yeah, for sure. Kevin Hart is one of those people. I would love to be in like a movie with him. He inspires me, not just with stand-up, and not even just with movies, but as a whole, he inspires me because I'm like, I want to be like that. This guy's a fucking business mogul, and he's taught me a lot about like, have different avenues of income or different paths because you're only you'll hit a ceiling when you're just doing one thing, like just stand-up. Yeah. Like people who are just stand-up, it's like it's great and then like, they're successful, they can have great careers. But it's like if you want to go beyond that, you got to like, invest in companies or like he has a radio show, he acts,
company,
he fucking produces stuff, like it's like the list goes on. And so someone like that would be super awesome. Andrew Schultz is one of my favorite comedians, so definitely would love to work with him somehow. Yeah.
How much do you use like Kevin Hart as like a blueprint for like comedy in the sense like started off as a comedian, did shows, did roads, and went to like theaters, arenas, and then into the world of like movies, Hollywood, things like that. Like, is there a blueprint like you're saying like, oh, this is what he did at that time, like maybe I can follow this kind of step? Is that the blueprint that is laid out?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, you have to take it with a grain of salt and kind of go with your own path, what works for you. For us, I mean, we're working on other stuff other than my stand-up right now, just because I also like to do the other things. You have to find what you like to do as well. It's like, I don't have to do everything this guy. I don't have to start a tequila brand. Yeah. I mean, I want to, but you don't have to. But I think it's just a matter of knowing your intentions and knowing what it is exactly you want to do and like going all in on those things and don't distract yourself with other shit.
Does it, like having your brother alongside you help?
Oh, yeah. Like immensely, yeah. Big time.
Do you guys like butt heads at times?
Yeah.
And, like, do you have like a...
Sometimes.
Do you have a recent argument?
Yeah, last night.
What did you guys butt heads about?
I mean, like, it's just like business, right? It's like it's not even from a brother perspective, it's manager and like client kind of arguments or butting heads.
Sure.
Which is what you need, because he will call out things that no one else is going to call out, and it sucks for me to hear in the moment, but I realize it's for the greater good, and he's just looking out for the overall business. Now it's tougher because we're brothers, and it's like it's hard to like sometimes disassociate how someone's talking to you as a manager when he's your brother. Yeah. So, sometimes that happens. It's not often actually, nearly as much as it was years ago. Okay. Because we just both understand each other more and how to talk to each other more, and what we're working towards. We're more on the same page. We're more aligned by communicating better. But like I don't know, like last night it was just about like a brand deal we're working on, and he saw the way I did the video in a different way than I did, and then we're just trying to figure out like what the solution is, and like sometimes you just get heated or like it fucking sucks to hear that this thing might be shit. Yeah. But then you're like, well, I have to fucking take it because no one else is going to tell me. Exactly. Yeah. And that's it. And it's hard in the moment, but it's always going to benefit you in the future.
Yeah, and I think it like humbles you too a little bit.
All the time, for sure. It makes you feel like you're nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the best way.
Every time like me and my co-host who's not here at the bar, or like even our team, we have like a huge moment. Like we've been starting being like, bro, you're just a man. Like, you're nobody. You're just a dude.
Not even a man, dude. You're fucking non-binary. You might be a woman.
You're just a specimen. You're an offspring.
Yeah.
You're an offspring. Like
You're nothing.
Nothing.
You're a newt.
And then you're like, okay, relax, and then you get right back into it.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
What about the people that have seen your content that you've like made specific contents at, and then they've seen it? So like David Goggins, Hermosi, for example. Can you talk about those moments? Talk about Goggins.
Oh,
Gary Vee even.
Yeah,
I still see that content shared to this day, man.
I haven't done Gary Vee in a while.
Yeah.
But I mean.
But you ended up opening for it, and like we talked about that in our last episode.
The last time, yeah. That was crazy. Yeah, that was fun. I met him again the next time I went to New York. Like a year after, in his offices.
Did he tell you to go to garage sales?
Yeah. He told me to go fuck myself. No.
Make some content?
Yeah, make some fucking content. Why are you talking to me, bro? Like, fucking make shit. But no, I met him again, and we've talked a couple times since. He follows along. He came in my live stream actually recently, like 2 months ago, after the Drake thing.
Yeah.
He came in my live on Instagram, and he requested to join. I was like, what the fuck? And so I added him, and then we were talking for like 5 minutes. He was on a fucking private jet with his wife too, which is super dope. And yeah, he's just like, man, I'm fucking proud of you, bro. Like, you know, just, what you need to do is fucking get a V-Friends and print it on a fucking shirt. He's already telling me what to do, and I was like, it's hilarious. But yeah, he's just a dope guy, and he's always watching, and he's always helping in some way if he can, and yeah, so he's dope. He's always been dope. Goggins, yeah, it's actually the screenshot of my phone because he DM'd me too.
What does it say?
I reposted one of his clips on my story, and he responded to that saying, "Keep grinding, brother. You have many more levels in your game. Time to outwork and focus. Stay hard." And then I was like, yeah, I was so fucking in my bag. I was like, yeah, I'm going to show these motherfuckers, man. Thank you for your content and hard work. It's always inspiring. And he's like, fucking love that. Let people see who you really are. And I was like, let's go.
That's sick.
Goggins mode, baby.
That's sick.
And then, so.
And you went on your own, like, transformation journey as well. Like,
yeah.
Congrats, man. Like,
thank you, yeah. I mean,
huge.
Still well on the way, you know, just working on it, trying to get jacked and more lean.
Yeah.
It's hard on the road. Sometimes you get hit with
of course.
the tough times on
Schedules,
the road,
of
and
course.
like staying in routine and all those things. But overall, like from the last time you saw me, like mentally and internally, I'm much healthier than the last time you saw me.
Damn.
I'm not gonna look that much different. I've lost a lot of weight, but like, it's just about how I've changed, what I put into my body, and how I see the world, which is healther.
Did you have a special moment like that changed that for you, or was it just like?
I mean, there's always. I'm fucking fat my whole life, so I was like, bro, every day is a special moment to make me see it differently. But there was a couple of times where I was just kind of fed up with it. Where I was in New York, and when you're in New York, you walk a lot. It's a big walking city.
Yeah.
You're always walking, and I was at my heaviest. I gained a lot of weight, and I was like 365 or something like that. And we're walking all day, whatever, and it was in between shows I had in the States. I just finished my show the night before. We're walking all day, and then I come back home to change, to go out to eat with my uncle and my aunt, my brother, and I go to put my boxers on after the shower. I put my left leg in, that's fine. And then as I lift my right leg, bro, my whole right side just shoots up like nerves. Nerve endings just getting firing. And I immediately pulled my back. Immediately fucked my back. And in that moment, I was like, oh, just froze. And I fell to the floor. I was like, and I couldn't move for 5 days. Wow. And after that, even after I started to move, I still had the nerve pain in my leg for like a month after. And I went to rehab with Cairo and everything like that. And that was the moment. One of the biggest moments. It was a wake up call. I was like, bro, I'm like not even 30. This shouldn't be happening. And so that was when I started to be like, all right, man, I actually have to make a fucking change in my life as a whole. And so, yeah, that was definitely.
How'd you change mentally?
Well, I was just like, I don't want to feel that way again.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't put myself in a position like that. Because I was also eating like shit too at the time. And like, I didn't care what I was eating. I was eating whatever. And I was like, well, no wonder this is happening. Yeah. And so it was more so just telling myself, reminding myself, like, why I don't want to be that way again, or like, yeah.
Damn. Congrats, man. Like that's sick.
Thanks.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you try, bro. I don't know. Fucking not perfect. Only human.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say at the end of the day, also, it's really like not even about, like you said, it's not necessarily about the weight as much as it is about like being in shape as you get older, and like making sure that like when you're like 50 years old, you're not like walking down the hallway and all of a sudden you twist your ankle and you're out for like a year or something.
I know,
right?
literally.
Like a old horse.
100%, bro. Yeah, like a waste of space. No, trust me, because I went to my chiro after that trip.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, your hips are tighter than a 90-year-old woman. And I was like, oh, okay.
He told you to shut up?
Yeah, literally. He fucking me up. But then that was also a wake-up call. I was like, wow, like I'm 28 years old. I shouldn't have to, my hips shouldn't be this tight. And so that was also the moment I started to stretch more. It's like, try to start to take care of my body more. I'm still getting there. It's very new, but like, yeah, I think that's the foundation. You have to have the foundation.
Yeah, that's sick. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the tour a little bit. You're on tour, you're going city to city across Canada.
Yeah.
Like, what have been some highlights so far? And like, I'm always curious, like, how do you decide that you're gonna go on tour, and like, how much material do you gain before you go on tour, or are you working it as like in Toronto, or are you working it like across places, and then you're like, okay, now I got a solid 30 an hour, or whatever. Like, how does that work?
Well, I lived in Australia for a year, up until this past year, and we moved there with the idea of working on this new tour set, building this new hour that I have.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I accomplished. When I went there, I did the most stand-up sets I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
Now, when I mentioned earlier about like grinding in the first 2 years doing stand-up open mics, I was doing the same thing last year after 9 years in.
Yeah.
But like with real shows and real audience members, not just open mics,
Yeah.
and way more of it. And like I counted, in 10 months, I did like 650 sets.
Wow.
And that's like unheard of. It's insane. But Australia, where I was at, they had these festivals every month in different cities where you can just get on stage like 6 times a night. On average, I was doing like 4 to 5 sets a night.
Damn.
Like, when you're on stage that much, when you're doing something so often, for such a long period of time, like you have no choice but to get better, right? My energy got better, my performances got better, my writing got better, my crowd work got better, right? It's like, it has to, it's inevitable. And so that was the idea we had going into Australia. I was like, man, this tour has to be much better than the last one. And it is, it's already fucking 10 times better. But that's because of all the work that was put in to prepare for that. And it was well accomplished. And when we came back, I was like, actually like ready for this tour. And I was sure of the material, and I am now, obviously. So.
Are you like constantly writing jokes or writing down ideas that like come to your mind, or do you like specifically take like, okay, I'm going to take this specific time to write, and then I'm going to take that material, then go test it out in the gym almost, or like in the shows, and then see.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
how does that work?
It's a bit of both. It's I have premises ready to go, and then. Right now I'm just doing my tour show, so it's like I'm not focused on new material right now. But when I am working on new material, every night I go in with something, like one new bit that I have written from before, with a couple of other jokes that that are newish, not completely new. So it's like there's at least a chance of me getting some laughs.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do new material for 10 minutes, and you're just eating dick for 10 minutes straight. Literally, bro, all of Australia, man, most of the trip in Australia, every night, I was eating shit, like, to silence. Damn. Working on this new material.
Okay.
But, like, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
You have to do that. You have to bomb. You have to eat it in order to get better and to become stronger.
Is the crowd in Australia, like the comedic crowd in Australia, different than
a little bit.
Canada and US?
For sure. Yeah, it was definitely different. Like, I realized in Australia, they're not big laughers. Like, they're not laugh out loud laughers as much.
Okay.
They're more internal laughers. And I didn't know that until I experienced it for myself a bunch of times. And also, like, their audiences are, like, much more sensitive. It's way more woke over there.
Really?
And my material is not fully catered towards the woke community.
I lived in New Zealand for 8 years.
Well, there you go, same shit. Yeah, you did?
Yeah.
New Zealand?
Yeah,
oh, wow. So that's what I'm saying. So
Used to have
British accent and everything.
that's hilarious. Wow, unreal. Fucking Kiwi, mate. So when I was doing these shows, man, no joke, like, there was one, I had the worst bomb of my life in Australia this past year. Of my life.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I was in a room full of 100 people. It was hot. It was middle of summer too there, because their summers are switched.
Yep. June.
It's like January.
Yeah, January, December.
I'm boiling already. It's already hot. Everyone's already fanning themselves. So like when you're hot in an audience, when you're trying to laugh, it's hard. It's hard to laugh because you're trying to focus on the cooling down. Mm-hmm. I go on stage. I'm headlining. I do 40 minutes on stage. No joke. Like I got maybe one laugh.
Wow.
In 40 minutes.
Is this stuff you've prepared before? Like you've tested before?
It was like the stuff I've been working on for like a month or two at the time. That like I thought was good. Bro, I was like after 10 minutes of silence. Yeah. The first 10 minutes of silence, my back was dripping from sweat. My boobs were sweat, like everything. You know what I'm saying? Like hot. And then like I'm trying to like make light that I'm bombing. No one laughs. I'm like, okay, that's great. And then 20 minutes goes by, nothing. 30 minutes, nothing.
God damn.
And then by the end, I was one of the only times in my career, I was like, guys, I'm not gonna lie, like, I never have felt like I wanted to quit comedy. This is one of those nights.
Did you get a chuckle?
Thank you guys so much.
Did you get a chuckle?
One person chuckled.
Oh,
everyone else was like,
no. God damn.
And then the worst part, I get off stage. I wanted to cry. It was terrible. It was that terrible. I get off stage, I leave. I go outside the venue. The show ends, obviously. Everyone starts coming out, filing out to leave. 10 different people came up to me and they're like, yo, mate, that was fucking funny, mate. Mate, that was a sick show, bro. Fucking sick show, bro. All right, mate, that was fucking funny, mate. I was like, what do you mean? Where were you during the 40 minutes?
Damn.
Well, it wasn't funny, mate. And so,
damn.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That was bad. It was so bad.
Okay, so in a situation like that, when like you feel like you're bombing, and maybe you're not, because apparently in that situation you weren't. When you feel like you're bombing, does it, like, how do you get through those situations? Like, are you telling yourself something while you're still doing the act, or are you like, are you trying to do some crowd work or something like that? Like, how do you push through that?
Yeah, a bit of all that. Like, if a joke bombs, I'm like, all right, nice. Yeah, you guys didn't like that one? All right. Yeah. Good. Hey, man, what about you, man? You don't like it? And then, like, I try to, like, stall or, like, try to figure out what the next joke's going to be to break it up just in case. I don't know. Maybe some people don't like the material, but they'll like the crowd work. Yeah. And the crowd work doesn't work. You're like, holy fuck, this sucks. And then you just go back into the material and you know it's going to be shit, but you just do it because you have to. Because, like, I can't just leave the stage. I have to stay up there and do stuff, make people laugh, right? Try. And then it really forces you to just do better with performance-wise, the writing of the joke, everything. And so, yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Comedy is one of those things that I don't think I will ever do.
Yeah,
because like
okay.
The pressure of having to make someone laugh versus like you joking with your boys or you joking with people and making them laugh that way versus the actual pressure like, oh, you paid money to come watch me laugh. I can't understand. I can't fathom how much pressure or like what that feels like.
Yeah, well,
nor do I ever
I
want to.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, obviously. Like, but I never discourage people from doing it because I think it's the best thing that I've ever done, and it's the most fun thing I've ever done in my life. So, but like my thing is, if you're gonna do it, you gotta like actually want to do it and love it. Otherwise, you're gonna be miserable and you're not even respecting the craft. But yeah, it's not for everyone, and it's definitely disheartening. Many times. Most of the time, you're eating shit. But you just get better at eating it.
Yeah, there's
over time.
Just tastes better.
It does taste better, but also like it tastes better when you actually end up doing well. Because you're like, oh man, finally, like after all this fucking work, this shit's actually hitting now. It's like, but that was all the hundreds of sets I ate dicks for this to work now. So, yeah,
it's a cherry on top. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's like that. You're always chasing that, and it's a great feeling when you do get it. So,
how is comedy different based on like venue? So like a closer like set versus a theater versus like arenas, things like that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, so they're definitely different in many ways. I prefer to perform in front of in a tighter, intimate venue. Okay. Because I think stand-up comedy traditionally should be done in a smaller venue, where it's like, I don't know, 50 to 100 people. Everyone can see you. Everyone can see everyone else. Dim lights, low ceilings. everyone's in front of you, no one's beside you or behind you. The stage is like kind of level a little bit with the audience. You're not too high, you're not on the ground. It's like, it's the perfect logistics.
Yeah.
Because, and also tighter seating.
Okay.
Only serve alcohol and drinks, no food.
Really?
Because, man, the amount of times I've done shows and like people are eating chicken wings when I'm trying to deliver a punchline and their just mouth is full, like you're not gonna laugh, obviously, because you're fucking eating Southwest chicken while I'm trying to deliver a punchline.
True.
Put your fucking Caesar salad down and listen to my joke.
Yeah.
So, there's so many factors that could, not ruin the show, but like makes it tougher for the comedian. But I'm saying the ideal thing for me, and any comic, if you ask them.
Yeah.
The ideal scenario is what I just said about the venue, being small and intimate, because when you also do crowd work, the person in the back can still see who you're talking to.
Yeah, yeah.
And everyone's laughing, everyone's in on it. It's like an inside joke kind of a night. It's amazing. It's fun, and the laughs will hit you the proper way. Like it's like a fucking wave.
Gotcha.
As opposed to like, I don't know, you do certain venues where like it's set up in a way where like you're too high on stage, and then the laughs are like hitting you here. Like it doesn't like if the ceilings are too high, the laughs will like get lost and start bouncing off the walls, and it'll just get lost.
Damn.
As opposed to like everything hitting you at once. There's so many factors. Like there's some theaters that are like big theaters where, yeah, it's nice, but it's also you're kind of detached from the audience a little bit more.
It's not built
than a
for
comedy
comedy.
club. It's not as intimate.
Yeah.
It's still fun, and your performance should be bigger because it's a stage. It's more of a performance. In a comedy club, it's a comedy show. It's like a stand-up set. It's not as much as a performance. But in a theater stage, it's like, oh, this is like the act. There's less room to like do crowd work or whatnot. So, and then an arena is like, it's not built for comedy at all. Yeah. But like if you're Kevin Hart and you can sell that many tickets and fucking make your money.
Yeah, yeah.
Russell Peters, like he tours doing arenas.
Yeah, yeah.
That's his thing. But it's not ideal.
Yeah, yeah. So when you're like planning your tour, are you guys like strategically looking at certain venues and being like, okay, we'll do this one and this one, and like, do you tell the venue no food, don't serve food at all? Like, can you do that, or like?
No, they're like, man, honestly, that whole process is a fucking hassle too. It's like sometimes it's pulling teeth, especially with theaters. Oh my God, bro. Like we've had so many problems and issues with theaters, because you also have to have contracts in place and they have clauses and I don't know, there's all these things. And man, sometimes it's so hard to book them in advance too. Like the tour right now, sometimes people are like, yo, why are you going here? Why are you going to Vancouver on July 11th, but then like fucking whatever, East Coast city the next day? It's like, why don't you just do all of them at once? It's like, you can't.
You can't. Yeah,
because,
it doesn't work like that. Yeah.
Especially when you're doing bigger venues, you can't. Because sometimes some of these venues that you try to book, they're booked up 2 years in advance, a year and a half in advance. So my brother, we self-produced this whole tour. Yeah. He was booking it when we were in Australia, like 18 months ago, before the tour started. Yeah. And even at that time, they're like, yeah, we have one date in 2025, and early 2023. Sure. And so it's hard to logistically coordinate the right path. So we just have to take what you can get. Yeah. And yeah, man, it's sometimes there's so many problems, but yeah.
How long are you going to be on tour for, like total, like from start to the finish?
We started March 20th in Brampton.
Shut up,
Brampton. And then there's like 30 Canadian cities spanned over a few months. So like the last Canadian show is Toronto, at my hometown, August 9th. And then 2 weeks after that, we're doing Europe for a month. Sure. And then as soon as I land back from Europe, October 1st, I have 3 months of US. And then when that is done, we're doing 2 weeks in Australia and New Zealand.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then Middle East after that, hopefully.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like pretty much like 9 months.
Do you miss home?
Oh, right now it is. Yeah.
Like,
it's been
tour life is not.
It's not for everyone else.
Yeah.
And it's like right now I'm pretty tired. Like just overall from like I've been home in 3 weeks. Yeah. But we're going back home Monday. Okay. So I'm excited. But yeah, I mean like it's a part of the lifestyle, and but don't get me wrong, it's fun and it's really enjoyable, and you're experiencing new cities. you're meeting new people, you're testing out new foods or whatever the fuck it is. So that part like is the best.
Yeah.
You can't take away from that.
That's insane. Yeah, no, like we've had a couple DJs and like their
DJs
tour life.
even worse, bro. DJs is crazy. Because DJs will fly like, especially like the most successful ones, they'll just do like 3 sets in a day.
Yeah.
In different cities.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's insane.
We've done people that land at 6 p.m. do a show, do a pod, and then
head
11 p.m. they're out.
It's crazy,
Jet, like straight there.
Yeah, DJs is another level, but yeah, but yeah, comedy's like that.
Yeah. Like if there's one thing you're gonna take away from this like Canadian leg tour or like the Canadian part of it, like is there a message or like a mindset that you're going into and that you had for the first and like the rest of it? Like,
yeah, I'd say this set is like the best comedy I've ever written and done. It's the thing I'm most proud of, and it's putting on for a lot of different cultures and my own people more than anything, and my family, and it's very Canadian. But also like, you know, it can relate to other people in the world too, but like this is for fucking Canada, because I'm trying to represent for our country too, right?
Of course.
It's like I'm from here, so yeah, man. I'm for the people, and I feel like a fucking president. You know? I'm for the people. It's Barack
which
Obama.
one?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm for the Punjabis. You know?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I got you guys. But yeah, it's just for it's the best work I've done so far, and I've worked really hard on this tour set too, and yeah.
We asked you this last time, but I'm going to ask you again to see if your answer has changed. Do you have any advice for the up and coming comics out there? Would the advice have changed from 3 years ago? So last time we talked, you were talking about just get your reps in. Social media is huge, and then just keep grinding.
Yeah.
Has that changed? Has mindset changed? Has the world of comedy changed since then? And what trends and things are you seeing now that maybe 3 years ago are different?
Yeah, I honestly, I think it's pretty much the same still.
Solid.
Yeah, you can't cheat the reps.
Yeah.
This time around, I'm more for the reps than ever. You can't cheat the reps. Like I said, being in Australia, I did so many sets. I was like, I really learned the value of doing the reps more than anything. It's inevitable. You're gonna grow 10 times better than if you didn't get the reps in on stage. And yeah, I mean, obviously social media helps, and everyone's on social media now. But I think it's about, well, you also have to be specific too, because you don't want to be too general all the time, because you won't get great at something if it's too sporadic.
Do you mean like types of comedy?
Yeah,
or like,
just in general, just your style, or like
style. Okay.
Try to build a brand around your style and master that first, and then you can branch off into other shit, which is what I'm getting at now, pretty much.
You branch off.
Like slowly but surely, I'm branching out into different stuff.
What would you say your style has been for the last almost 10 years?
It's just been like very, accent heavy, different cultures, jokes at other, about other cultures. Obviously Persians, my own people. A lot of like mom, dad type humor, like about immigrant parents.
Yeah. And then now, what are you changing that to? Trying to just be more broad?
Well, it's not about being broad. It's about like showcasing the other parts of my funny that I've never really been able to express as much.
Okay.
Because one, before I was more amateur, I had less confidence. I didn't know my real brand yet. I wasn't established with a certain style yet. But now that people know me for the cultural stuff, and which is what I think I'm the best at, it's my forte, it's my strength, is like doing accents and jokes about different cultures and my own people, and family jokes. I also really love doing rants and like talking about things that might be insensitive about to other people. But I think I'm actually good at like doing rants and ranty type stuff. So I'm gonna experiment with that a little bit more. And also that's more in line with stand-up comedy, which is what I want to be known for more. I want people to know me more for my stand-up. And this tour right now, with all the crowd work I've been doing, all the footage I have, and the new jokes I have, which eventually will film as a special and release, I feel like a lot more people will know me more for my stand-up, which is what I want to be known more for that. Because I am a stand-up. I'm not just like a YouTuber turned stand-up. Like I've been doing stand-up for almost 10 years. Like, I've been doing all this at the same time.
Damn.
It's just that people know me more for my skits
For your skits,
and
yeah.
my characters. So, I'd say that.
One last question as well. Is there anything in comedy that you would not touch? Or is everything limits?
Minors. Definitely not touching those.
Like the people that work in mines?
That too, yeah.
Yeah,
Not touching
like,
no fucking
just-
mine. What are you underground for 10 hours? What
Yeah,
a loser.
Screw those guys.
Yeah, no. Yeah, yeah.
Is everything kind of fair game?
I think everything's fair game as long as it's funny. And it has to come from you. It has to be authentic. Otherwise, people will smell the bullshit. But other than that, yeah, I think anything should be fair game.
Okay.
That's what I believe comedy is. So you're making light out of uncomfortable topics that normal people aren't willing to talk about publicly.
Damn. All right, Neema. I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, pal.
I'm glad we got to do this.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, indeed.
Let's get it.
Check out, we'll put the links to all the Neema stuff down in the description. Huge shout out. Thank you for coming to Winnipeg. Next time you're here, we got to show you love.
Yeah.
And
With some Punjabi food, bro.
we get
The
you.
fuck?
Let's go. Let's go. You got time right now? Let's go.
You got some golgappa? Huh?
Bro, I'll get my mom to make some gobi paratha. You be fine,
Oh,
brother.
shit. You got some pani puri? And shit, you
Yeah,
know?
let's go.
Let's get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, like, comment, subscribe. See you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Let's go.